I'm loosening up this here. It's been a long time. 5 years of doing the show. I'm back at the Firehouse. We're doing a special tapings. I'm getting too anxious and too nervous. I don't know what else to say. I'm like, I'm trying to reach out there. My co-host, Ebony Harper, she not even answering. I'm like, my co-creator 5 damn years. Ooh. I got this. Breathe, David. You got this. It's your first time back. Don't be nervous. Just remain strong. Breathe. Okay. I don't have my cards. Oh. Showtime. Ooh.
12 seconds later.
Oh, great. Am I the only one here? Oh boy, let the show begin. I don't like I dress up like a nun. Here, I'm going back downstairs.
It's The Spotlight from their former home studio at the MNN El Barrio Firehouse in New York. David is taking you exclusively inside the MNN El Barrio Firehouse Community Media Center to where The Spotlight first started out 5 years ago at what one floor was once known as the Youth Media Center and the Youth Channel. AC Lightnin joins the youth co-hosts to talk about his latest music published, his first appearance on The Spotlight 5 years ago, and is performing on stage. Now, let's get it on and get this Spotlight party started. Coming to you from the George C. Stoney studio at the MNN El Barrio Firehouse Community Media Center in New York.
You're back.
Oh my. Well, hello, and welcome to the Spotlight. Welcome to the Spotlight. Welcome to the Spotlight. Here, woo! Now, as you plainly see, we are coming to you from our old home, which is the El Barrio MNN Firehouse Studios, where we first started the Spotlight 5 years ago before moving to our new big home that's down south from here. And if anybody's curious of how it all started back in 2017, you're in for a real good treat, exclusive treat. But before we do, I got to mention that Via's not with us apparently, but we got Emily Doubilet filling in here. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you, David. Pleasure to be here at the Spotlight once again.
Yes, here. So, I want to give you all a good treat of how this show started 5 years ago. So take a look. This is for y'all here.
Can't wait.
We are here at MNN's El Barrio Firehouse Community Media Center, where 5 years ago, this is where the Spotlight first began. And luckily, we're giving you all an exclusive look upstairs at the third floor of what was once known as the Youth Media Center, where the Spotlight first began 5 years ago. Let's take a look at that. So here is the George C. Stoney Community Media Studio, where we first taped the show 5 years ago. And it gives me a blessing to take you upstairs to the Youth Media Center, which is located on the third floor, but has changed. See you there. Here we are. This is where it all began 5 years ago. This is the Youth Media Center where the Spotlight first began 5 years ago in 2017 of January. So there has been some changes we see here that has been made, but all the computers, as you see, were all lined up. We went all the way around, and in the middle was like a little meeting table where we discuss production meetings and have a plan of like creating shows and what we want to have on for any upcoming episode that we have. This was the place where it all started 5 years ago. So here in this area, this is the area where many interviews and projects took place. And this was also the area where the ongoing YC Weeklies also took place, right in this area.
So they were all sort of like curious as to what my preferences were, which is understandable because everybody's always curious about me.
Always be a good citizen and help others in need in any way you can. Even a little help can go a long way. Are you okay?
So did you know that the Youth Media Center that was part of the Youth Channel was also part of an internship project for young people between the ages of 14 to 24, or sometimes 16 to 24 depending on age range. But this is where all the production, flyers, updates, and everything else. So these people that you see that are on the wall are like the media interns, or I should say alumni interns, that have worked at the Youth Channel for the past few years before it ended, back before COVID hit. Now I'll tell you one thing, they're still welcome to join the show and be a part of it here. So if you see your name on the list, we're sending an invitation to you to come to our show and have fun with us. So right where I'm standing, and I could be sitting as well right here, but this is the area where my computer that I always go to would be there, and I would sit and do my editing and everything else here for every show of Spotlight back from our first season here. But everything was just so comfortable, so relaxing, where it made me focus a lot. But this was where it all began, and I was so blessed to have a good show and continue to do that and everything else that we've done over the years that we've been on air. So everything that you see here now, which is on here on the third floor, the M&N Barrio Firehouse Media Center, this was once known as the Youth Media Center. It has now transformed into M&N's Media Education class, where anyone from any age can take classes here to learn about media, television production, and a whole lot more of other varieties here at M&N.
And ladies and gentlemen, look at this at where we are now. And then as you see, well, you hear these are our mugs that were original mugs from 5 years ago, and I'm like, wow. I can't believe it for sure.
I hope the water's not from 5 years ago.
Well, it is. I just tasted
Oh,
it.
no.
It's tasted
Oh,
awful
gosh.
and warm. It was from 5 years ago. It was, oh my goodness. But
You're not going to have me back after you kill me with this water.
listen, you okay, all right? You all right.
All right.
But look, it's been 5 years, and as you see, I also want to point out that this was my original wardrobe from 5 years ago, where I wore all black, and these were the seats were not seating. We had like these rolling chairs, basically, and it was like I couldn't tell what was going on, but this is how it was when on the very first show I did this here. So just so you know, this is my original wardrobe that I wore 5 years ago from the very first episode of the show.
Wow. Happy anniversary. Happy 5 years.
I can't believe it. Don't make me so old, Emily, okay? Listen, on that exclusive note, we'll be back, okay?
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute. They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Still ahead, AC Lightnin joins the youth co-hosts to talk about his latest music published, his first appearance on the spotlight 5 years ago, and is performing on stage.
Well, welcome back. Breaking news. Will Smith broke his silence after the Oscars slap incident back in July. Watch this clip.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock was my man. And this is probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, you know, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm gonna say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, you know, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me, and it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. You know, it happened on Questlove's award, and you know, it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and I made a mistake. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
That was really deep here. So it's kind of like we're really getting like hearing from everyone here, you know, because we heard from Chris Rock, then came Jada Pinkett Smith later on, and now Will Smith. But the question I don't understand is why the big long time frame between the differences? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, you know, when I was watching that, I was just like, Will Smith is so extra. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was a lot. And he made it completely about himself as well. Mm-hmm. And I guess he mentioned part of the long time frame was Chris isn't ready to talk. But now you're just throwing out his business. Like, if he wasn't ready to talk, maybe you could have kept that to yourself instead of saying Chris isn't ready to talk. I think that was kind of like throwing him under the bus a little bit. You know, why not just say, you know, I reached out to him privately. Yeah. And leave it at that. I thought that whole thing could have been way, way shorter. That was just too much. That was too much for me. Right. What about you? What do you think?
Well, the thing is, he did do that on an Instagram post after the slap, but it really just wasn't good enough to get Chris Rock the message, because obviously, even though he did it in an Instagram post where he said that he was trying to apologize to Chris Rock, but that really just didn't seem like it was enough of an apology to get to where it should be to clear things up here, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't enough to just do it vaguely on Instagram, but now I think this is too much.
Right.
Personally. Like, you know, he could have just said, I'm you know, apologizing privately. And, you know, but all this stuff about letting people down is my central trauma. I mean, you know, I appreciate that he's like trying to be a role model, but I just feel like, I don't know, it's not the moment to do it in an apology. Like in an apology, you should make it about the other person, not yourself. I don't know, it was very like, about himself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the slap in the moment? I mean, because I know some people have controversial takes on it. Like some people are like, I would want my husband to defend me. I heard that on Twitter. I mean, some people like violence.
Well, look,
I mean,
well, look, I said this on the show before, and I'm going to say it again. All right, because people will tend to like defend women, or men will tend to defend their women or wives for whatever reason is, even if it's a health concern, and it's because obviously that person will just come at you with disrespect out of nowhere and not give a damn about everything else. But it's like, but I understand where Will was coming from. Was trying to defend Jada Pinkett Smith, which is Will Smith's wife here, but at the same time, you should have never put yourself in that situation, because look what happened to you. It got you in the result where you got banned from the Oscars for 10 years here, basically, you know?
do you think that's a fair
Well, I feel
ban?
like it could have been like, maybe not, I wouldn't say give it 10 years. I probably would have given it like maybe 5 years. I'm not a,
Judge David
I'm like,
with the gavel, 5 years.
Listen, yeah. But listen, I really don't even have a say on that, because I'm not really certain as to how many years he should have been banned from the Oscars after what the Oscars incident that occurred back in late March here. I really don't know where I stand on that, because it's like, because probably as time goes on, if there's probably more evidence, and if I read in between the lines, then maybe I should have like a final decision of where I stand on the decision with Will Smith about having him back at the Oscars later, 10 years later, or shorter than that. But that's all I could tell you. I'm not for the Academy. I don't work for the Academy or anything else, but this is just my basic opinion. If I were in a situation and I was making that choice, and I would have let that, give it to the, I probably would have given it to the Academy and let them decide here, but I probably would have made it like less than 10 years and not wait too long. But anything can happen, because by that time, he may be making more movies that are going to be offered with him, and if he's nominated for an Oscar within those 10 years that he's banned from the Oscar, then how is he going to get his award or get access to the Academy Awards? Because that's the question that really just gets on my mind, is like, if he's banned from the Oscars and he's nominated for an Oscar for whatever category he's nominated for, how is he going to get the award and attend the Oscars ceremony?
Would it be Zoom?
I don't.
Zoom has taken over our lives. They could take over the Oscars.
Who knows? I don't know how they do it with Zoom. I know it because it's like I didn't watch how they did the Oscars when COVID hit here. I mean, because it was really like tough times here. They probably may have did it differently, but I don't recall how they did it though. But that's basically like where I stand on this here. But in addition, but not only that, after Will Smith apologized to those impacted by the Oscars slapping incident, Chris Rock hasn't quite yet responded directly to the apology, directly I'm assuming, but he did appear at a stand-up comedy show where he told a few jokes about how everyone wants to be a victim and play the victim. So what do you think of what Chris Rock said, and do you agree or disagree with him when he said that everyone should play the victim or be the victim card?
I mean, I didn't see the stand-up act, so I would kind of need to see the clip. You know, you should have had the clip lined up for us here, so I'm going to blame you. No,
there's no clip for the Chris Rock.
Oh, it was just in a closed, without a video.
Exactly.
So it was reports.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say, because comedians, I think you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. I mean, if it was funny, it could have been part of a larger joke, you know? But if it, you know, I'm assuming it was part of a larger joke, and if it was funny, then it was probably a good punchline to something, you know, not necessarily that that's what he thinks, or, you know, comedians, they poke fun at things. So there's a lot of gray area, I think, in stand-up acts.
Yeah,
and that's why Will Smith, you know, was out of control when he got up there. I mean, but I do understand, like you said, the impulse to say something, stand up for the people you love, and he easily could have gotten up. But, you know, crossing the line into violence, I think, is where, you know, he disappointed everyone. And I do think 10 years is fair. I think maybe a lifetime ban is fair. He can accept his rewards. He can accept his rewards just digitally if he has an award.
Right.
Or a representative.
I wouldn't give him a lifetime ban at all because obviously that just kind of like creates a lot of tension for a lot of like African American actors and actresses in the entertainment industry for everything else. If they did something bad, I mean, a lifetime, that I would not give that to them. Like, even though 10 years is a long time, but I as I said, I don't know where I stand. But I will point out here that when Chris Rock mentioned at a nationwide comedy tour with Kevin Hart, this was at Madison Square Garden here in New York City here. But he did say that anyone who says words hurt has never been punched in the face.
Oh, that's a funny joke.
He said, yeah.
I think that's kind of funny.
This is Chris Rock's words. He said, I'm not a victim. Yeah. He said he's not a victim, but he shook it off and went to work the next day, and he doesn't go to the hospital for a paper cut. This is his words, you know. I mean,
well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Right, because he's basically showing that he's a strong man and he's a professional person, and he's not going to let anything get in the way of what he's doing in his career, basically. Mm-hmm.
Right, and he's also kind of like dissing the slap in a way, like it's a paper cut, you know, like saying it didn't even affect him. It wasn't even that big of a deal to him. Mm-hmm. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we'll listen. We'll just wait and see what happens, and as time goes on, maybe more updates will come in. Okay, we'll be right back, y'all.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back, and one of our most high-profile, talked about court cases in recent memory has been, you guessed it, it's the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. A jury ruled in favor of Johnny Depp in his libel lawsuit case against ex-wife Amber Heard, with some people calling the verdict a big win for Depp and a blow to the Me Too movement. Depp ended up with more than $10 million, while Heard ended up with about $2 million. So what direction do you see all this going in after the verdict?
Well, let me just bring up some points about the verdict, because obviously, what we need to understand that the jury found that both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were defamed, but awarded more money to Johnny Depp, as we just mentioned here. But the judge in Britain found in 2020 that Mr. Depp had assaulted Ms. Heard and put her in fear of her life here, which I don't know if that seemed true or not here, but this is like the information we're getting from like the New York Times basically. So I'm like, and then there's also the thing where between the two sides clash over what caused the damage to Mr. Depp's career, and there still remains question here, because obviously I really don't know what to say on this, because I know this has been trending for a while, but even just watching from parts of it, it just made me like speechless. Like, I don't know what else to say here, you know, because yeah, I don't know what else to say here. All I could just give out is like the facts and the research and the information for what I found that's interesting, and I'm like, I don't know what else to say here because I'm still reading about it as we speak here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. There's a lot that's been said. What can we say? Because there's just been so much that's been said about it. I'm sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
And frankly, I actually actively avoided the news articles when it was in full force, because I don't like how it was so sensationalized. I mean, I think it's a private trial, and I don't see why the media had to go in the courtroom and record it and make a huge spectacle out of it. Like, I just didn't like that they were taking this very serious topic, you know, of allegations of abuse and sexual abuse and assault, and making it into this media circus. So, you know, I tried really not to click on all the articles because I didn't want to give fuel to the media who kept sensationalizing it. And I do think it, you know, it is a win for Depp and a blow to not only the Me Too movement, but also certain free speech movements as well.
But did you really think that Amber Heard deserved the punishment where she was given like some jail time for whatever the case was? Because that's what I remember reading about, is that when Johnny Depp dismissed the case, like Heard was sent to like prison for a certain amount of years, if I remember correctly here. I mean,
oh my gosh, you know, like I said, I've been avoiding reading about it, so I'm maybe the worst person to chat with you about it. But if she was given a punishment, I completely disagree. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that because she wrote an article, she should go to jail.
Right.
I mean, especially considering most claims of sexual assault are true. I did look that up before coming here because I wanted to bring that up.
Yes.
You know, it's very overblown to when people say, oh, there could be a false accusation. There's actually been plenty of studies. You can Google it. You can look on Wikipedia. I read a Brown University website about this, and I trust universities. You know, I know there's a lot of fake news out there. But when in doubt, look at a university, you know, vetted article, because they do read the academic literature, and there's studies, many studies, that false claims of sexual misconduct are very, very low, usually between 2 and 10%. So believe survivors. You know, maybe there's a rare case, less than 10% chance that someone's lying. But I just think, you know, it's a blow to women who want to speak out, and then now they have to worry about being sued on top of, you know, worrying about being assaulted every day.
Because here's the thing about that. Because what I feel as if that there many women here will tend to like just, you know, when they accuse that person of sexual misconduct for whatever reason, that person is going to that woman that is accusing the man of sexual misconduct will tell it to the media, but then next thing you know, it's okay to, like, you know, basically, yeah, and I know we got to wrap, but let me just get my point. Let me just get my point across on there here, because
yeah, they want to pull you off with a hook.
Let me just finish my point here, because it's okay for you to speak out against the accusers, but at the end of the day, the evidence and the truth is what matters most here. All right, it doesn't matter whether if you're male or female. No matter what, the evidence and the truth is what matters, and that will get you to the path of where the solution will lead to. Okay, we'll be back.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Selfie. Nailed it.
So welcome back. I want to mention and point out that back in 2019, we discussed on the show if there was still a potential to have a $20 bill with Harriet Tubman on it. Well, it turns out that history has been made in a way where the price has been slashed down to a quarter. Yeah. The new quarter features Maya Angelou, and she's the first African American woman to appear on the U.S. quarter currency on U.S. currency. And you know what? I actually like seeing positive change happen, but come on, y'all! $20 to a quarter? Really? Is Mnuchin still waiting for 2028 to come so they can put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill where Andrew Jackson is still on the $20 bill? Listen, Emily, I want to know what your thoughts on this and what's going to happen to the penny, nickel, dime, and half dollar, or perhaps the dollar bill. I'm like...
I agree. It's crazy it was slashed to a quarter, but at least it is some positive change.
Yes.
What do I think about it? I think it's great that they're making some positive change. It is a small amount, only a quarter, slashed from a $20 bill. What are your thoughts on it?
Listen, I'm waiting for Mnuchin to stop slacking off. Because I don't know why you slacking off, Mnuchin. All right? It's nice to have a black woman on the quarter, which I like here, because obviously we're all Maya Angelou fans, and we all appreciate her work. But Mnuchin, you need to stop slacking off and at least get Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill.
Amen. Seconded, thirded, fan the man down. He's overheating with passion about this.
Yes, listen.
We need the currency to be fixed immediately.
Yeah, let me just point out about the quarter here, okay? Because it obviously has the same things, liberty and God we trust, the current year 2022. And the representation as Maya Angelou, but it features an E pluribus unum, which I don't even know what that is.
From many one.
Yeah, from many one. And then the minute and Mark is from Denver and Philadelphia. Well, it's just so much here, but it's, I mean, but here's another interesting fact. In 2010, President Obama awarded Maya Angelou the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was also the 2013 recipient of the Literarian Award and Honorary National Black Book Award for contributions to the literary community. So there's some change right there, but I am sick of Mnuchin trying to wait till 2028 because I'm thinking it's like when it hits January 1st, 2028, oh, it's 2028, let's put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. Why don't you do it right now?
When are the quarters coming out? Does it say?
Well, they should be out already right now.
Oh, they're already out?
Yeah, it's been out for like now a few months here because it just came out just a few months ago, basically. All right.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet. I think there's a coins shortage.
Well,
you know, that's a whole other topic.
There's a whole other topic, but there's also Mnuchin. I'm getting sick of talking about Mnuchin.
Throw the card.
Yeah, listen.
I'm going to do it
but
too.
You know, speaking of... Okay, I was not expecting that here, all right? But, you know, speaking of Maya Angelou, that's you.
Okay, yes.
Go ahead.
As you were saying, speaking about her, that was the topic I wanted to bring up.
Yes, there you go. Go ahead.
And there's been an old resurfaced clip from 1990 where the poet, Dr. Maya Angelou, takes issue and action with the way a young woman in the audience addressed her by her name. Take a look at this.
Kim, you had a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Maya her views on interracial relationships.
Oh, thank you. And first, I'm Miss Angelo.
Miss Angelo?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not Maya. I'm 62 years old. I have lived so long and tried so hard that a young woman like you or any other you have no license to come up to me and call me by my first name.
Excuse me.
That's first. That's first. Also because at the same time, I am your mother, I'm your auntie, I'm your teacher, I'm your professor. You see?
And so after that, people got split and screwed about this, where a few individuals responded that it's a matter of respect. They also say that she was being a name dropper and her way of thinking is outdated.
Yeah. Listen, and Maya Angelou's got a point here because you should always you gotta respect your elders and respect yourself because otherwise, if not, I get this funny image in my head of my middle school guidance counselor teacher who took a broom and hit this boy on the head you know. And it was hilarious. I'm like, that boy was trying to beat her up here, basically. Like, what on earth?
Your teacher?
This is my middle school teacher who was trying to like defend herself.
Oh
here.
my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
I know, but
Could be.
even though it was horrible, but it was funny at the same time with the way she whooped it. She was like doing the Medea moves here, basically. You know?
She should issue a Will Smith-like apology.
Well,
or maybe he should. No.
or maybe we'll just say we'll be right back.
He'll say it was his
here.
central trauma.
Yeah, we'll be back. All right.
AC Lightnin joins the youth co-hosts to talk about his latest music published, his first appearance on the spotlight 5 years ago, and is performing on stage. Next.
They call me a maverick, yeah, homeboy, I'm a savage. They call me a maverick, yeah, homeboy, I'm a savage. I tell them not get in my way, you better move up, do my thing. Coming here, bringing the flames, I say they call me Andre. I tell them not get in my way, you better move up, do my thing. Coming here, bringing the flames, I say they call me Andre.
Well, as you saw there, that clip was from 5 years ago, 2017. Where AC Lightnin was our first ever guest performance that we've had since the show began. And that was from like our 5th episode of the Spotlight, Season 1. And there's really nothing else more to say except please welcome AC Lightnin! Come here, bro! Yeah! Whoa! Well,
Yeah.
Woo! 5 years ago, huh?
Yeah, I hit the time machine button on that one for sure.
Well, we're doing it all season long here. We're hitting that time machine here.
Wow, yeah, that definitely brings back some time. So
Yes.
and just stuff.
Yeah. So what is it that's changed like over time, like 5 years ago to like today, and how has your music affected you since COVID? Because it's been a long time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just the clip that you seen from 5 years ago, you just looking at an artist who's just trying to navigate, trying to find his lane and his niche on how he should be as an artist, as a person, and how to influence people. And that was kind of tricky at times because, like, you know, the song that I just played, I felt like that was the greatest song at the time that I made. And then I worked on a mixtape in 2019. I dropped it. I wasn't so confident when I dropped it. And, you know, that kind of got to me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it discouraged me a little bit from not doing music as much. So I just stuck to poetry. But then I started making more better music. And as crazy as the pandemic was, I saw that as a chance to like reinvent myself because you know, I've gotten my feet wet going to open mics like the Near Recomposed Cafe, Harlem Bomb Shelter, Rose Garden, all the open mics in New York City and stuff like that, and even some virtual ones. You know, it really gave me a chance to really question like who I want to be as an artist. It's like I had to learn my strengths and weaknesses. And I was just like, what am I good at? What am I not so good at? Let's work on what I'm really good at. And then we just did it from there. That's what brought to my first EP, Rehabilitation. You know, it really gave a chance for me to be like, yo, like, let's do this right. If you're going to put out music, let's do it right. It don't have to be perfect, but let's do it right. And listen, I'm proud of what I did with Rehabilitation.
Yes.
And then I dropped my second latest EP of Believe.
Yeah.
On all streaming platforms. You should go stream that. And with Believe, I dropped a mixtape 2019 called Believe. And I took some of the songs from that mixtape. I revamped them. I did it differently because I really wanted to redeem myself on that. Like, not that I felt bad or felt like, oh, this was the end of the world. But for a long time, I was carrying that bag of guilt, like, yo, I could have done better on this, although it was my first project. So I saw this project as a chance to redeem myself after I dropped Rehabilitation. And now that I've dropped it, I'm more confident in performing and being myself as an artist. I'm not scared to like go first or just scared to do all my songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just seeing people being like, yo, this is good. Some people rock with it. Some people relate to it, stuff like that. It's just beautiful. And that's with the pandemic, I felt like it affected me because I couldn't go to open mics.
Right.
So we did online stuff. And as dope as online is, I got the chance to connect with a lot of artists and people, stuff like that. There's nothing more better in the world as an artist. Nothing more better with that feeling is when you perform in front of people and you hearing the reactions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know that was long with it, bro.
No, it's because I was at the same time I was reading about what you mentioned where you wrote on your Facebook about Believe here that you went hard on that EP here, and you spent like a whole year figuring out what songs you wanted to release, were deconstruction and rebuilding the songs the way you wanted, and have picking people who feel bringing those songs to like basically like come together and at some say some sort of here. But it's like obviously the EP Believe is out now as you mentioned, but like I know you went hard on that EP, but it's like tell us more about that and like how extremely hard you went with the album EP.
Right.
Believe.
That's an amazing question. So
yeah,
like I said, I dropped a mixtape in 2019 called Believe.
Mm-hmm.
Same title. Maverick was actually the lead single for that mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, at the time, I was just still new to this. I wanted to be different and wanted to be out there. So actually, after I dropped Rehabilitation, I saw myself as a chance. I saw a chance. I was just like, yo, Rehabilitation actually did good. Let's see what other songs that I could do. So I really had moments in my mind and my thoughts. I was just like, it would be something if I decided to redo and revamp some of these songs that I already put out.
Mm-hmm.
So and I started that process after I dropped Rehabilitation to really like look at the older songs that I have. And I was just like, okay, what songs can we drop maybe a few months from now that could get the ball rolling and stuff like that. And I started dropping songs, the singles. The first single that I dropped in 2021 was titled Girls.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for Women's History Month because I've done poems and stuff like that and videos for Women's History Month in the past, but I wanted to do a song this time to uplift the ladies, to let the ladies know you are valued, you are loved, we appreciate you, and this is coming from a black man, black artist, and all that stuff. And then I just dropped a whole nother single called Get Through, music video, and all stuff like that.
Yes.
And really, like I said, the mixtape originally had 16 songs. Had to cut them down to 11 songs, and then
a lot.
Yeah, no, because like I said, like I'm kind of old school when it comes to my music a little bit. Kind of like with albums, I like to give people a decent amount. So it was just like 11 songs I put out, and then for those 11 songs, I was just like, what 6 songs can I revamp and put out now that would be good? And they're still the same songs. Some of them, like I said, I deconstructed. Some of them I gave a different title, different beat, different feel to it and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then the features, oh man, shout out to my man Poetic Boy D and my homegirl Kayla Starks. They both did their thing feature wise and stuff like that. Like they did their thing, and that was also for me to start making that connection to start collaborating with other people. So I believe for me, because I had to take a chance on myself. This was the second EP. I'm like, you have to go a little bit harder. You have to you have to bet yourself. You have to bet on yourself. You have to go for it. And Believe as the name for it. I had to go all out with it.
Yes. Quick, I know we gotta go because we really want to hear your music, but I quickly wanted to ask you about, because your friend Eboniah is doing like a mini doc about you here, and she's also described you as, honestly, this beat is fire as hell. The words fit the beat perfectly, and it all worked well. And from like the track Stars here, about how you did your Hope Abounds during the times of the unrest with your new single here. So like, tell us more about the mini doc, about what's been in the works.
I'm just working on a mini doc for the second EP, Believe. Just go behind the scenes of putting the project together, as well as like performances before, after, and then where we at now. So that's just the process of the second mini doc. It's gonna be like 3 episodes. So
yes, you know, I really wanted to get to hear this music right now because obviously the people over there are just making go like, you know. All right, listen, we're gonna get AC Lightnin real in 100. Okay, he's gonna perform for us. Yeah, all right, we'll be back. All right.
Download Calm today.
Hey, performing a mashup mix of Welcome to Rehabilitation and Believe, once again, AC Lightnin!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Life has ways of making things look so appealing. They trap you in and only get you up in this position and have your mind racing with all different kind of questions. They wonder why people out here dying. I gotta be honest while I talk about my problems. I say that I'm strong, at times I don't got them. I wanna be bulletproof, walking through Harlem while fighting these villains off like Batman Gotham. And people get me flaky, they won't let me be. The way they try to hold me got me going crazy. I wanna be free, you holding on tightly. Lately, haven't been acting like the real me, and that's just what it is, and that's just real life. I'm trying to live through this whole entire dog fight. I don't play when it comes to these females. You wonder why I'ma go into details. I've been rejected, underestimated, unappreciated. I got jaded, I don't care what you're saying. It's about time I talk about my feelings, and when I tell the truth, these girls gonna get heated. I moonwalk on you, MJ, just beat it. I'm sick and tired looking like I've been defeated. And you don't think that I go through the struggles of find the laughable when I'm actually in trouble. I pose for the cannon, but it ain't picture perfect. You wanna see my life, you open up that curtain. You see all the pitfalls and trials that I've been through. And since you don't know me, you'll never walk in my shoes. And through it all, yeah, I still gotta thank God. Though God lie, got food on my table, and God was standing with me when it really got hard. And even in my struggles, I still gotta be grateful. And folks in my head, yo, they try to make me doubt I was really going through it when God got me out. And that's the one thing that I took from this lesson. You go through the trials, then you go get your blessings. Even at times I don't feel so phenomenal. Looking up to God, feel like it's impossible. Going through my mind, I try to sound so cynical. This is my story, I'm telling you my chronicles. It's not always gonna be rainbows and miracles. It's honesty with this whole self-loaded. In the booth, talking to God like a confession. I wanna welcome you to rehabilitation. Yeah. I fight the dark night like I'm Bruce Wayne. Yeah, I'm switching real quick in this fast lane. I don't care what people really gotta say. I'm spitting fire, kicking it like I'm Luke Kane. And yeah, I walk through the fire like I know flames. And yeah, I throw that's Wu-Tang. I'ma try to the top, do it my way. I'm celebrating every day cause it's Dre Day. They keep me in the dark, they don't like my light. If folks really get mad, now I'm talking Christ. I try to show them how they really need to live right, but they wanna do it wrong, telling me to take flight. And yeah, some of these folks filled with hatred, coming with the slander, hating my complexion, trying to live my life, and they don't like my greatness. I'm powered by the king, boy, yeah, I'm his creation. Anything's possible, believe me. Got God on my side, I got victory. Get away for drama like I'm carefree. Yeah, I'm going to the top, there's no plan B. Yeah, 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 you should see this. Yeah, 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 boy, I won't miss. You could go ahead and say that I'm crazy, but I'm not staying down, just believe me. I try to read my Bible and I'm going to church to implement all the things that Jesus was doing. But people in this world dealing with a lot of hurt, so they don't really care what the pastor be saying. I took philosophy, an interesting class. At one point in the lesson, my professor had to ask, do you honestly believe in my God on your own, or do your family believe in something they don't know? Flashback to the time that I couldn't really speak. Yo, I grabbed a pen and pad, started doing poetry, and then I realized that I was giving this voice. In the process, folks still like my words of choice. People got mad and folks said I was tripping. All my friends started flocking, all these people started leaving. I still say yes to that lingering question, and through all of that I think I found my real passion. Anything's possible, believe me. Got God on my side, I got victory. Get away for drama like I'm carefree. Yeah, I'm going to the top, there's no plan B. Yeah, 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 you should see this. Yeah, 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 boy, I won't miss. You could go ahead and say that I'm crazy, but I'm not staying down, just believe me. As I go through life, on this path of being great, you either get out the way, or you get rolled on. AC.
Yeah! 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 Yes! Bro, listen. Give it up for him, y'all. Why you... Oh, yes! Listen. It's been 5 years, you know. I know, it's been a long time, you know. But listen, special thanks to you for coming and performing. And we want everyone watching, and we're going to be here all month long here for our special shows here at the Firehouse, just to revisit after 5 years. Too long here. In the meantime, we want you all to have a great week. Good luck, be well, be safe, and take a little time to have fun and express yourself and enjoy the spotlight. Goodbye.
Domestic violence doesn't have a gender.